Harvard had a black president, a black woman president, Claudine Gray, or Claudine Gay.
Gay, yes.
And Claudine was the first black president of an Ivy League school, I believe, like in history, right? And again, it's like, we get it, right? 2020 happened, it's like you're trying to put a face, so we're going to bring, but if you imagine like a black woman coming from where she comes from to reach the pinnacle, like a pinnacle of academia in terms of like, you're the president at Harvard University. Just imagine like how skilled, how intelligent, how much they've had to vet this woman, right? And in a matter of months, conservative white supremacists began to attack her. And as what's always the case, like if you're black and you get some type of position, because ultimately the president of Harvard, whoever you are, you're upholding one of the standards of white supremacy, like being the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Oh, a black person president. Oh, that's great. However, you're representing white supremacy. And whenever, as black people, we get into these positions where we're the head of something that represents white supremacy, hey, bro, you stub your toe, you wear the wrong shirt one day, you know what I'm saying?
The wrong color suit.
They start to attack you. You're not going to get no help. You're not going to get no support. They will leave you out there. And that's, one of the things that happens. So, as Claudine, basically, Harvard was one of the places that post October 7th and the massacre that took place in Israel and the fallout of Israel's, definitely, like, to say heavy-handed is almost light to say that, like, response. Harvard was one of these places that students stepped up and, made statements, and people felt like, I don't know what Claudine Gay as the president of Harvard was supposed to do, but that she didn't respond forcefully enough. I don't know. Her and the president of Penn and another president of MIT went to Capitol Hill or went to Congress and just did not do well. You know what I'm saying? But again, they're academics. Maybe that's not their thing. And now all of these people began to, they're like, you're manufacturing some type of plagiarism thing against the system. But anyway, I'll say one, and I'll come to you, Miracle. These are my thoughts. One, I saw Mark Lamont Hill say the next president of Harvard must be a black woman. I don't agree. In fact, I would say Harvard, and I would hope that we could use, as black people in our community, the brilliance and the genius of Claudine Gay. Like come to our where's our institutions and how are we building? Let's have you and your brilliance and your incredible leadership skills come and uplift and build black institutions. That's what I want.
Maybe she could be the headmaster of Dr. Umar's school.
I'm just saying,
we need this.
She wants a real job, my brother.
Jesus Christ.
So look, and I say that to say, like, wow, we've seen like a precedent kind of happen, and I'll come to you, Miracle, with Nicole Hannah-Jones, right? Where they offered her a job at UNC. She accepted the job. It was a major job, and these white supremacists came and attacked her. And attacked the school, and they threatened they funded. So then UNC wanted to pull that job. And instead of trying to fight for acceptance in a white space, a predominantly white school at UNC, our sister went to Howard University. And that's where she's working now. She's at Howard, and she's using her brilliance, her skill, her research, her authorship, her journalism at Howard University to uplift black students. I would like to say the same thing for Claudine. I would actually say, instead of the next president of Harvard must be a black woman, we should say, it's only about probably 5 black I don't know how many black people are at Harvard now, you know what I'm saying, with all of this affirmative action. Like, you don't want us on your campus, it's fine. Let's build our own. and let's invest and support, whether they be HBCUs or whether they be our own institutions of learning. That's how I feel.
It's 9.3% black.
9.6 to me, those 9% of black people, let's do a mass withdrawal and let's go someplace else. Y'all want Harvard to be this bastion of whiteness, then let it be that, and we can go do our own thing. I don't know. That's how I'm going into 2024, Miracle. What do you think?
Of course, I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts.
She has the best thoughts.
I have the best thoughts. The first thing is, there was no way in the world that the black woman was going to stay when the white woman was forced to go.
True.
Number one.
True.
And so we know the old adage, you have to be twice as good to go half as far. We already knew what was happening, right? These billionaires got together along with Zionists and said, these are the people we're taking out.
Yes.
And we're going to take them out. And this is nothing new for black people. We saw 2 years ago when the Asian community was used as a scapegoat to get affirmative action removed from the books. Now we see the Zionist Jewish community being taken advantage of to get DEI attacked in Ivy Leagues right now. So this is really nothing new. The problem is Claudine thought she was playing the game. And we know that none of these institutions protect black people, particularly black women. And when she was at Capitol Hill, she tried to stay and repeat the same lines that the other white women were repeating. And she knew from jump that it was not working. And you can see it on her face. And she should have leaned into her blackness and be like, y'all know what the rules are. Yep. You're not going to disrespect me. But when you are trying to uphold the bastion of white supremacy, you try to do this respectability politics. And like we've said before, respectability politics will not save you. Respectability politics will not protect you. Nope. It may get you in the room, but it's not going to keep you there. And that is what we're seeing right now. And she resigned.
Yes.
There were these false allegations of plagiarism for in-text citations. And it was really ridiculous because the white men who said we don't want her there very much said we're coming after these 3 deans, particularly because they are women, and we are over diversity and inclusion. We are over quote unquote wokeness, and we are coming after education. Yep. We are coming after corporate jobs. Anything that we have deemed to sprout out of 2020, we're coming. And as Van Jones said, a white lash, this is what we're coming to do.
Absolutely.
And everybody played into it because at the end of the day, everyone is overseeing black people in these spaces.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go to the Country Music Awards and see black people on the stage. Nobody wants to go to golf and see any black person outside of Tiger swinging and playing the game. And so folks are upset about this. Yeah. And they keep saying we're doing everything we can to whiten up these spaces because, again, they only have 10 more years. It's probably even less because like COVID's just killing everybody, to be the majority ethnic group in not only in power, but the predominant majority ethnic group in the United States. And that is what we're seeing. And nobody really cares about black and brown folks. So there was no pushback. And Harvard could have fought for her.
Yes.
Harvard could have stood by her.
Yeah.
Harvard could have filed discrimination lawsuits, could have done cease and desist, could have used its strong network to push back, so could have Penn, but no one really cared enough to do so. No. And this is what we're left with. So we know white supremacy is running amok. Absolutely. We know these white men have said they literally said we have targets and this is what we're coming for. Them and Edward Bloom are literally trying to do everything they can to get women out of positions of power because they believe these alpha men need to run the world. And here we are.
Yeah. I was just interesting. And you're right. In terms of this attack, that's important to note that this was a coordinated attack to make sure this black woman was not going to be the president of Harvard. And it was done by like literal white supremacists. And I mean, that basically said, we're targeting her. One of it says, Christopher, this is from an AP article. It says, Christopher Rufo, a conservative activist who helped orchestrate the effort, celebrated her departure as, on Twitter, or X, whatever it's called, and he wrote in all caps, "scalped." Just to let you know, he's really a racist white supremacy scalped, right? And so again, but at the same time, like, to me, that respectability politics is not going to save you is such a powerful point, because all the things, she had to do to get into that position, to make it there, right? Playing that game, right? Navigating the strategy, and you get to the top of the mountain, so to speak, and they're not going to save you. They're not going to protect you. And at the end of the day, you're going to be treated, I don't know, like whatever suit we put on or whatever dress we put on or ornaments that we put on, we black. We black, and they're going to treat you as such. Or whatever, however degrees we got, right? Still, there's a quote from Muhammad Ali, and he was talking about at the height, he's Muhammad Ali, the champion, still in America, in the United States, and we're seeing that play out right now.